Hey guys, welcome to Science Ki Dunya. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you may get further notification of the topic we study. And also, don't forget to share this video with your friends. We'll be studying living world and classification of microbes. So there are around 87 million species of living organisms which is found on the earth, including land and sea. Living organisms are small to big as well, and it is present in a vast number. So to study them, it is necessary to divide it into groups, right? For that reason only, groups and subgroups were created at that time, which is known as biological classification. So how will you define biological classification? The process of dividing organisms, living organisms, into groups and subgroups is called biological classification. So there was an ecologist, which is American ecologist named Robert Harding Whittaker. What he did, he divided the living organisms into 5 groups. So first what he did, he classified living organisms into 2 types, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Now what are they? Prokaryotes are the one which does not have a proper nucleus. Okay, you can say it does not have a well developed nucleus. So you must be knowing that each organism contains cells. So each cell have a nucleus and it has a proper nuclear membrane on it, which is the covering of the nucleus. So in prokaryotes, the nuclear membrane and the nucleus are not well developed, whereas in the eukaryotes, the nucleus and nuclear membrane is well developed. So in this way, he classified living organisms into prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Further, he classified prokaryotes into unicellular and eukaryotes into unicellular and multicellular. So what is unicellular and multicellular? Unicellular organisms are the one which has only one cell. Example are amoeba, algae, all of this. And what is multicellular organisms? Multicellular organisms are the one which has many cells. So the animals with one cell who does not have a proper well-developed nucleus, they were placed under prokaryotes, and the one which were having the well-developed nucleus but were unicellular, they were placed under eukaryotes. So as you can see, he placed kingdom Monera, which were unicellular, under prokaryotes. Okay, so Monera is a type 1 group. Okay, and he placed it under unicellular, and he placed Protista under unicellular of eukaryotes, and in multicellular he placed fungi, plantae and animalia. Fungi means fungus, plantae means our plant, animalia means animals. Okay, fungi are the one which has cell wall present, but these organisms cannot make their food on their own because they does not have photosynthesis, and plantae have cell wall and they perform photosynthesis and make their own food, whereas animals does not have cell wall. Some criteria for the classification which was given by Whittaker: in complexity of cell structure, he divided it into prokaryotic and eukaryotic, as I said. Then in complexity of organisms, he divided it into unicellular and multicellular. Then according to the mode of nutrition, he divided the multicellular animals into fungi, plants and animals. Plants are the one which are autotrophic, which means they make their food on themselves by photosynthesis. Fungi are the one which are saprophytic, which means they take their food by absorbing from the dead organisms. Animals are the one which are heterotrophic, means they depend on others for their food. According to the lifestyle, we can say that it is divided into 3 types: plants, animals and fungi. Plants are the producers, means they produce the food. Animals are the consumers, we consume plants, right? So we are the consumers. So we are not the producers, we are the consumers. Then fungi, what does it do? It decomposes the dead organisms, so they are known as decomposers. Phylogenetic relation, he said that it is from prokaryotic to eukaryotic and from unicellular to multicellular. So I will give you some extra information. Binomial system of nomenclature, what is that? So binomial system of nomenclature is used to identify any of the species. Okay, it is used to identify organism first of all. Secondly, each organism is given a scientific name. Okay, so scientific name is assigned to each organism, as I said, which consists of 2 parts. First is called as genus and second is called as species. Okay, example, mango. The scientific name of mango is Mangifera indica. Mangifera is the genus and indica is the species. This was invented by Carl Linnaeus. For example, we humans, okay, we are Homo sapiens sapiens. Okay, got it? So how will you learn hierarchy for classification of living organisms? Here I will give you one trick. Read the below line. by which you can understand, or maybe it will be easy for you to learn. So keep pots clean or family gets sick. Okay. So K for kingdom, P for phylum, C for class, O for order, F for family, G for genus, and S for species. Keep pots clean or family gets sick. If you like this trick, then please hit the like button. So now we will study each of the kingdom in detail. First we will study about kingdom Monera. So as we studied now that Monera is placed under prokaryotes, the organisms in the kingdom Monera are prokaryotes. They are unicellular, as we said before. They are autotrophic, means they make their food on themselves, and they can also heterotrophic, means some of them are dependent on others for their food. They can be microscopic as well, or they can be seen with our naked eyes as well. Example of organisms which are placed under kingdom Monera are, first of all, lactobacilli bacteria. These bacteria are the good bacteria which are present in our milk also. And secondly, blue-green algae. These all are the organisms which are present under the kingdom Monera. Okay. Next kingdom is kingdom Protista. Now Protista is placed under eukaryotes, but they are unicellular because they are having only one cell. They locomote by using pseudopodia or hair-like cilia or whip-like flagella. For example, amoeba uses pseudopodia. Pseudopodia means fake legs. Okay, pseudo means false and podia means legs. Okay, so they use false legs like, and this paramecium have cilia. So by cilia they locomote themselves, and euglena have flagella. You can see the tail like part which is called as flagella. Okay, so amoeba uses pseudopodia for locomotion, paramecium use cilia for locomotion, and euglena uses flagella for locomotion. Okay, they can be heterotroph or autotroph. Examples are amoeba, paramecium, and euglena, as I said before. Our next kingdom is kingdom fungi. So, to explain you in easy language, fungi is nothing but, have you heard burshi on the food? In Marathi we called it as burshi. When the food is left open for a longer time, the fungus accumulates over there, which is in Marathi called as burshi. Fungi, first of all, they are non-green. They are multicellular. They are placed under eukaryotic, and they are heterotrophic, means they are dependent on other for their food. Some of them are saprotrophics, means they feed upon decaying organic matter. Okay. How is the cell wall of fungus? Cell wall of fungi is made up of tough and complex sugar, which is called as chitin. Some fungi are thread-like, and many nuclei are present in the cytoplasm. Examples of fungi are baker's yeast, aspergillus, which is the fungus on the corn, which is known as aspergillus, penicillium, and mushroom. So now we will see the merits and demerits of Whitaker's kingdom. So merits are prokaryotes are different from others, so he gave them separate place. Okay. Unicellular and multicellular organisms also got separate place. Fungi were placed in a separate group. Autotrophs and heterotrophs were also separated, and evolution was shown. These were the merits. And the demerits were, there was no separate place for viruses which was given, and similar organisms were kept separate. So these were the merits and demerits of classification of microorganisms. So there are so many microorganisms, so it is also required to divide them in groups. So microorganisms were divided into prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Bacteria were included or placed under prokaryotes, and protista, fungi, and algae were placed under eukaryotes. Study each of them in detail. First we will study about bacteria. So the size of bacteria is 1 micrometer to 10 micrometer. Okay. They are unicellular, okay, of one cell. Some are independent or some are present in colonies. So bacterial cells are prokaryotic as they are placed under prokaryotes. So they are with cell wall and they have distinct nucleus, or cell organelles may be absent also. So they reproduce by simple binary fission. Explain in sometimes that what is binary fission. In favorable conditions, bacteria grow fast and they can double their number in 20 minutes. Imagine. According to the shapes of bacteria, they have different types. The spare, which is circular one, is called coccus. So accordingly, when the one which are in rod shape are called bacilli. See, you can see the chain of bacilli. Okay. And the one which is spiral, means comma shape, it is called as vibrios. Okay. So these are the shapes of the bacteria which we studied. Now what is binary fission? In binary fission, first of all, there is parent cell. Okay. Then the DNA of the parent cell duplicates. Okay. And the cytoplasm, what is cytoplasm? The fluid which is present in the cell is called cytoplasm. Then the cytoplasm also divides, okay, and after that, after dividing, two different daughter cells are formed. So from one parent cell, two daughter cells are forming. This is called binary fission. Okay, so bacteria reproduce by binary fission, simple binary fission. Next we'll study protista or protozoa. The size of protozoa is 200 micrometers. Where are the protozoa found? Found in soil also. They are found in fresh water. They are found in sea water also. Some are found in the body of other organisms which are known as pathogenic. Okay. They are unicellular. Protozoas are the unicellular ones. They are placed under eukaryotes. So they are eukaryotic. There is a great variation in cell structure, organs of locomotion and modes of nutrition among protozoan. These organisms reproduce by simple cell division. Okay. Example of protozoa are amoeba, paramecium. They are living in dirty water. Second example is euglena. They are autotrophic. And third example is paramecium, which I said it lives in dirty water. Next we will be studying is fungi. The size of fungi is 10 micrometers to 100 micrometers. How are they? They are saprophytic and eukaryotic. They feed on decaying organic matter and dead bodies of plants and animals. Hence, they are saprophytic. The eukaryotic animals and some are unicellular and some of them are visible, which we can see with our naked eye. Example, mushroom. So, they reproduce sexually and asexually by cell division or by budding, which we will see further. I will explain you. The examples of fungi are baker's yeast, mushroom, candida, etc. So, how is budding and spore formation take place? I will explain you. You can see the budding. Tiny bumps appears on the parent hydra, as you can see in the figure. After that, the parent hydra develops a bud. Then this bud grows, and the bud, when grows, it falls. It breaks and it falls and become an independent hydra. By this, from one hydra, the other hydra is formed. Same way, by spore formation, you can see the spores which is filled in sporangium. When it bursts, it spreads or it throws the spores out. The spores in the air falls on the ground, and hence this process takes place. Next one is algae. The size of algae is 10 micrometers to 100 micrometers. Okay, they are autotrophic. As you can see, they are green in color. They make their on themselves, so they are autotrophic. They are aquatic because they live in water. They are eukaryotics and they can be multicellular or unicellular, and they can be seen with the naked eyes. Example are Chlamydomonas. Also, photosynthesis in algae is carried out with the help of chloroplast, which is a green pigment present inside the cell. Very few species of algae are unicellular. Most of them are multicellular and visible with the naked eyes. Next we will be studying is viruses. The size of viruses is approximately 10 nanometers to 100 nanometers. Generally, viruses are not considered as living organisms, but they are said to be the organism at the edge of living and non-living. Hence, they are studied under microbiology. Viruses are extremely minute. Okay, they are 10 to 100 times smaller than the bacteria, and it is seen under electron microscope. They are found in the form of independent particles. Viruses is a long molecule of DNA. Okay, what is DNA? Deoxyribose nucleic acid, or RNA, which is ribonucleic acid, and the virus is covered by a protein. Okay, it has a protein coat. Viruses survive only in living plants or living animals, and they produce their own proteins with the help of host cell and create numerous replicas, means numerous copies of itself. Then they destroy this host cell and they become free. These viruses again infect the new cells. Then viruses cause many diseases to plants and animals. Okay, remember this. One of the example of virus is coronavirus, which you all know, right? So that is it for today. If you have liked this video, then please subscribe and also share with your classmates. Thank you.